Okay, let's cover a hot topic, weight loss. I know everyone's out there saying, I want to lose weight. What do you say?
Congratulations, good for you. I love you for that, and it's great because let's just keep it real. We have to be honest with ourselves in life and understand that as advanced as our culture is, we have the highest rate of obesity on planet Earth.
Yep.
So with that being said, it needs to be addressed, but not in a shameful way, not in a way, look, we are all victims of our choices. That's really what it comes down to. So with that being said, there are so many choices when you walk through the grocery store. I can completely understand how people would get confused and grab for the quickest thing that is available and out there. So let's talk about processed, packaged ingredients and all that sort of stuff.
You know, one of my favorite general rules in the grocery store is if it is advertising itself as this, that, or the other free, whether it's gluten-free, fat-free, reduce this, reduce that, ignore it. Good food doesn't need marketing labels. It comes down to grabbing foods that aren't processed, things that are not bagged, boxed, and bulky, as I like to say. Those are the three guys that you kind of want to avoid.
Write it down, bagged, boxed, and bulky, because that will get you bulky if you're eating out of a bag or a box. You've heard it said before, but it's worth repeating. When you're shopping, go around the perimeter, because nothing on the perimeter is labeled with any fancy marketing concepts, because that's what they're going to do to you. When it says, to Kim's point, fat-free, do not eat it. You need fat in your food. Sugar-free is a good one, but that's also something that is
that goes down a whole
another
path of, if you take the sugar out, then you got to replace it. Just eat foods that are naturally don't have sugar in them. Eat foods that naturally don't have gluten in it if you want to avoid gluten. You know, and another thing that I think is important with habits is when you're trying to lose weight or change your body composition, you want to be aware of portion sizes. And like you alluded to earlier, the palms of our hands are fantastic for protein. The fist is fantastic for carbs. And just be reasonable with the fats. Keep your foods natural and go with those guidelines. Don't overthink it. You don't need to get a scale and weigh out every gram. You just need to eat normal portion sizes. And I think in our culture, when you go out to eat, our actual visual of what portion sizes should be has been skewed a little bit because we have such big portions here in the US. So really try and dial back on the portion sizes when you're trying to lose the body fat.
So I have to honor our buddy Jack LaLanne again. I would go to lunch with him or dinner. I had the opportunity to hang out with him. What a beautiful human. But two things that he said to me, one that he said to me and one that he actually did all the time. The first thing was, Clark, I don't understand it. Why does a human get up and they feed their dog the best food in the world, but they'll go have a coffee, a cigarette, and a donut? I don't get it, Clark. What's going on? And that energy was constant and all the time. But then we would go to lunch and he would insist in a very polite way that his salad had at least 10 vegetables on it. And if it didn't have 10 vegetables, he would politely send it back and say, could you please find some more vegetables to put on my salad? Because that's a healthy sort of source of carbohydrates and nutrients.
Yes, and I think that's an important thing to talk about as well is, you know, everyone knows vegetables are so incredibly healthy, but two things there. One, variety. Variety makes a difference. You're not only getting a multitude of different nutrients, but you're also feeding your gut bacteria in a different way, which is important. And second, I want to address carbs altogether. Carbs are not the devil. They're not evil. They are good for you in their natural form, but it does come back to choosing carbs with one ingredient. What do you think about that?
I completely agree with that. So carbs with one ingredient would be a potato, some rice. And let's talk about brown rice and white rice.
Ooh, that's a good topic. I have to tell you, I could play pro and con for both of them, but I actually prefer white rice. You team white rice?
I'm team white rice.
Dude, we need to be like eating buddies. This is great.
Yeah. So that, you know, there are a lot of pushes in the world. You know of lobbying in government, right? There is lobbying that happens with food. So you need to be aware of the fact that there are being pushes for certain things, and we don't know the reasons why, and certainly eating brown rice is not going to hurt you.
Right, exactly.
But people are always asking that question, so it's vitally important to understand it's okay to eat white rice, but you want to get white rice that is in its purest form. You don't want to get like minute whatever that was in the red box with that white-haired dude on it.
Well, and that goes for all food. You know, if you're going for a shortcut, whether it's the minute oatmeal, all these things that have already been broken down, that's just work that your body doesn't have to do. And if your body does have to do it, it's going to be a good thing for it to have to break down. You know, it's important to eat food in its most natural form. You guys are going to hear me say that again and again and again.
So we hear a lot about macros. The world is like so into this word macros. So you have macronutrients, big picture, and you have micronutrients, smaller picture. So the macronutrients are the protein, the fat, and the carbohydrates. And what Kim just talked about, all of the beautiful colors of vegetables. I want you to imagine a plate right now with red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers,
So good.
cherry tomatoes, green spinach, and all of these colors that are full of these micronutrients that are feeding your body all of what it needs, starting with that gut biome and working its way out and going through your bloodstream and just delivering this beauty that was meant to nourish your body. So again, this is reframing. It's looking at food differently. So I want to bring up a pro tip. We've kind of lost our pause before we eat.
Yes.
Some people pray, some people take a minute out or whatever. Whatever your thing is, we've lost that. And that moment in time is to get our bodies ready to digest. Because I'm going to make a very powerful statement right now, and I want you to write this down. If you don't digest, you die.
Yep.
It's just the way it is. So because we're rushed, we get gut problems, we're bloated, we're passing
Absolutely.
gas, we're doing all of this sort of stuff. It's only because we're not taking the time. So when you're cooking your food at home, you know what smelling that food does?
Helps you digest, gets all those gaseous juices going. And you know, another thing that I have that's kind of, you know, you said everybody has, this is my thing. No digital when you eat. You need to be in tune with what you're eating. Respect your body enough to put down the digital for a little while and just eat. Enjoy your food. How many meals do you get done eating and you're like, I don't really even remember eating that. Did I chew? Did I not chew? Take time, put the digital away, and just focus on that mindful eating.
So the whole idea behind this little block here is releasing weight, getting rid of some of the excess that's on all of us, really, because the reality is nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
We've been on covers of magazines. We know people in this industry. We don't want you to feel like we're better, you're worse, because that is not the case. We're still figuring this thing out every single day as we go.
And it evolves. It's always evolving. Things are always changing, but staying up to date with the science is tricky. So it's taking little steps every day that's going to help you improve from starting where you are.
So the takeaway from this is eat whole, natural foods, single ingredients, map out your plate, quality protein, quality carbohydrates, quality fat, work out, and your body will start to improve. It's the most adaptive, beautiful organism on the known universe.